morning, everyone. Welcome to Yeshiva Orta Minyan. Now we're learning Hasidut, and we're learning now the Maamar, the Hasidic discourse, essay of the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak Schneerson, when he was already in America, 1942. This was in the beginning of the war of World War II. And they say that, by the way, that what is a Rebbe? A Rebbe is not the same thing as a rabbi. A Rebbe is a person, they say a Rebbe is a person that he feels the pain of every Jew in the world. That's what makes a Rebbe. So you can imagine what the previous Rebbe was in World War II. How much pain there was for the Jews in World War II everywhere. In Russia and Germany and Poland and everywhere. So it's a bit hard to believe that statement. It seems a bit exaggerated. He feels the pain of every Jew in the world. But the fact is that's what a Rebbe is. A Rebbe is something totally above human comprehension. And so this was said right in the middle of this time. Nevertheless, the Rebbe had an ability to clear his head and to say this amazing Hasidic discourse. Good, so and it starts off by saying that every day a heavenly voice goes out and it announces woe to the world because of the shame of the Torah. And the main explainer of the Mishnah, Rabbi Avadia of Bar Tanura, explains that the Torah is ashamed and embarrassed and feels bad because people do not work at the Torah. So he asks, what does it mean working at the Torah? In other words, if you learn at the Torah, that's not good enough. You have to work at the Torah. So what does it mean working at the Torah? So he says, good. In order to understand this, we have to understand, first of all, what's this heavenly voice that goes out? And there's other places where it says there's other heavenly voices and announcements that go out. Like, return wayward children, return Reshu Banim Shovin, and return Jewish people, why should you die? And similar. But nobody hears them. He says, if nobody hears them, then why do these voices go out? Why do these announcements go out? What's the point? So he says that the Rebbe says in short, and I was explaining it, that even though you don't hear it, but your soul hears it. So let's see what this means. What is the soul? So it says that on Mount Sinai, that God spoke to the Jews face to face. In other words, God spoke to the God inside of every Jew. Face to face. That God has one face and we have another face. Our face is also the face of God. So he explains. The soul of every Jew is in the form of God's name. God's name is Yud, and then Hey, and then after that Vav, and then after that Hey. The Yud, now the Rebbe is going to explain how this manifests itself in our Jewish personality. So the letter Yud, this is the essence of the soul that's totally above any comprehension, and it's totally above our personality, and not just above our personality, but it's above even being able to be grasped by our personality. Something total. Only a small amount of the soul, of our soul, is actually in our body. In other words, that we can really relate to our soul. So let's have there's such a small amount of soul that's enclosed in the body that there's a lot of very genius Jewish philosophers that say that there's no such thing as a soul. It just doesn't exist. There's no such thing as a soul. There's the body, and the body has batteries. Right? The body has like batteries to it. And part of these batteries is like consciousness and intellect. That's just part of the package. Like a cat has a natural ability to jump and to move and to, and a bird has a natural ability to fly and to land and this. So somehow or other in the how do they call it? The evolution. So man evolved in order that he could survive and adapt or whatever and succeed, however the forces are. So in order that there was the power of selection and things like that, and so only the people that had this thing called intelligence, and they were able to survive. And the people who didn't have intelligence, they weren't able to survive. And the people that were, which sort of puts a big question mark on the Israelis. I mean, there's nobody more stupid than the Israelis. How do they survive? But I guess that was an aberration. That was a, how do they call it? There's a word for it. Not an aberration. Something, the cosmic rays come down and they change the chromosomes or whatever it is.
Mutation.
A mutation. No, there is in the theory of evolution a way to explain how changes occur. How changes occur. And they occur like, all of a sudden there's just, one animal's created with a long neck. How does this happen? There's a word for it. They got a word for it. I don't know what it is. So, such a small amount of the soul is in the body. But there's some people that say there's no such thing as a soul. All there is a body. And when you die, just, that's it. Finishes. The program goes off, and then there's nothing. And that's all there was no meaning or soul or anything like that. Why is that? Because such a small amount of the soul is in the body that people are totally unaware that there is such a thing as God. And even the religions that do believe in God, they have it so twisted and mixed up. What God is and how far God away is. And this is only because that's the way God made the world. God made the world in such a way that only a small amount of the soul would be put into the body. And he's going to even stress this even more. Look. The first word is Hislabshus Beguf. Shaharei, because behold. Okay, see where we are? First word in line is Hitlabshut. It's about 13 lines from the top. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Hislabshut. See? Yeah, you're going around. Hitlabshut. Hitlabshut Beguf. Okay? Only a small amount of the soul can be enclosed in the body. But the essence of the soul is totally beyond being enclosed in the body. In other words, enclosed in our personality or our awareness. And here's the proof. Shari, because behold, Malach, an angel, Bishlish Olam, 1/3 of the world, Omed stands. An angel stands at 1/3 of the world. Sheyesh base pirushim. Base means two, and this pei yud is an abbreviation for pirushim, explanations. An angel stands at 1/3 of the world. There's two explanations of the Maamar in this saying. An angel is 1/3 of the world. Ha'echad, this really doesn't make any sense because an angel is 1/3 of the world, but there's only 3 angels. Right? Of course, there's not 3 angels. It says there's infinite numbers of angels. How can an angel be 1/3 of the world? You'll see it's even more exaggerated than you think. There's 2 explanations of what it means that an angel is 1/3 of the world. Ha'echad, one of them, Da Malach. See where we're at? Last word in line is Hamalach. You have it, Moshe? Last word in line. Okay. Ha'echad, the first. You can write down. Echad. Maybe you have the wrong page. Good?
Yeah.
Ha'echad, the first explanation. What does it mean? That an angel is 1/3 of the world. What does it mean 1/3? It says that an angel at 1/3 of the world stands. What does it mean? Ha'echa, the first explanation is the malach, that the angel who is shlish min olam, 1/3 of the universe. An angel is 1/3 as big as the universe. And there's the three angels make up the whole universe. Because it doesn't make any sense what it means. It's tough because the angels are spiritual. They don't take up any actual physics. You can't see angels. The astronauts didn't see angels. And there are such things as angels. It says that Isaiah saw them, Ezekiel saw them, and Zechariah saw them. It says 1/3 of the world. Tapes, the second explanation, Ta'olam, that the world, who is Shlish min Amalach, that the whole universe is 1/3 as big as an angel. And you have to have 3 universes in order to fill the size of an angel. Like I said before, that it says there's an infinite number of angels. It says there's tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of angels in each group, and that there's infinite number of groups of angels. And so if an angel is too big for the world, kol shechen, how much more so, neshamos, souls, shalom maila mimalachim, because souls are above angels. A soul, a Jewish soul, is higher than an angel, maybe even a non-Jewish soul. But in any case, Jewish souls are certainly above angels. They're more spiritual than an angel is. In Cain, if so, Hari, behold, it is impossible that the essence and neshama of the soul titlabesh will be enclosed beguf in the body. There's no way that the soul, which a soul is bigger than an angel can't be fit into the world. The angel is too big. It doesn't make any sense what it means, an angel. It's bigger than the world. Something spiritual. And a soul is more spiritual. So it for sure cannot be enclosed in the body, in our personality. Umashim is lavish. So that which is enclosed, the goof, in the body, who is rak, only, he'ara lavad, it is only a ray of the soul alone. It's just like a reflection, a small picture. Like you put a picture of Lubavitcher Rebbe in your pocket, right? You have a picture of your family. That's not your family. You can't put your family in your pocket. The same thing is also the soul. How the soul is in the body, on the very small, very unconscious level of your soul is in the body. Now the whole thing of the soul is consciousness. That's the whole thing of the soul. The whole thing of your soul is consciousness, awareness. So it means we have a very, very little awareness of truth is in our body. All we're aware of is what happens around us. Right? Sometimes you get a person who's a genius in like mathematics, or he's a genius in business, or a genius that says a little tiny bit above everybody else. But this is nothing compared to seeing reality. The ikra neshama, the main part of the neshama. Okay, first word is he'ara. He'ara is the first word in the line. What's in the soul is he'ara, just a ray. Lavad alone. The ikar haneshama, and the main thing of the soul, who is lamala, above. Va'al ze omru, and on this it says, quote, af al gab, even though, de'ihu, that he, remember we had this in the last month, remember Akiva? Yeah. Even though that he, the they, ihu, I guess ihu, the ihu lo chazi, I think that means they. The they, lo chazi, did not see mazlehu, their mazal saw. Okay, what is this talking about? We talked about this before. There's a Gemara that says that Daniel and his 3 friends, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, they were very holy people, and later on they were thrown into a fiery furnace and they lived. But nevertheless, it says that they were walking on the bank of the river, and suddenly godliness appeared to them, and they fell down on their faces. They fell down on their faces in fear, and Daniel didn't fall on his faces. So he said, why? Because Daniel saw godliness and they did not see. So the Gemara says, well, if they didn't see, why did they fall down? So it said they didn't see, but their mazel saw. So mazel is another name for the essence of the soul. Mazal. What does the word mazal mean? Mazal means to drip. So there's one part of your soul that's so tremendously high, it can just drip awareness of godliness in. Right? Something like, we had the story about Moses in the Torah. Moshe, when God revealed himself on Mount Sinai, only Moshe could take it. The others, they couldn't take it. It was too much for them. It's too much for them. They couldn't let go. was too much for their personalities. They thought they were going to die. In fact, at the end, everybody did die. They all did die. But they couldn't take this. They died and God enlivened them again. It says that was at Mount Sinai. So the same thing was here. It says the essence of the soul can feel things, see things, be aware of things, that it's too much for the little part of the soul that's in your body. It's too much for your personality, for your character. So it just drips little awarenesses of God once in a while in a way that you could sort of understand, right? In a way that you could sort of, get this awareness of what God is, right? You see, a person says, "Wow, I lost my wallet, and I prayed to God I should have it back, and there it was. I saw it was in my other pocket, right? I didn't never put it in this pocket, and there it was. This is a miracle. I believe." And then what happened? He just put it in this pocket. He put it in that pocket, right? That's a miracle. For him, it's a miracle. For him, it completely knocked him out. This is the most amazing thing he's ever seen in his life. God drips down, right? In the essence of your soul, if a person gets an awareness of God, he doesn't know what to do with it. He doesn't have any idea what to do. So what does he do? What does God do? He makes it drips down into your personality. And we'll see. So it says that even though he doesn't see, af al gav, even though. Last word on the line is chazi. Let's go back a few words. Af al. Aleph, ayin, gimel is an abbreviation. It means af al gav, even though. Even though the ihu, that they, lo chazi, did not see, they did not see godliness, mazleu, but their mazel chazi saw. That's talking about Daniel's friends. The shore is that the source, umakor, and the essence, anashama of the soul, ro'eh, sees, vishomas, and hears, call all, hakruzim milyonim, all of the upper announcements. It hears all these announcements to go out. You don't hear it because you're so, insensitive. But your soul hears it. Machmas, and because of this, noflim, there occurs hirhure, thoughts, tshuva of tshuva. Gam, also, behe'arat, in the ray, hanashama, of the soul, shabaguf, in the body. Vehein, and they are, hirhure, thoughts, tshuva, of tshuva, shaboim, that come, pitom, suddenly, believe without shum, any hachana, preparation. See where we are? I'm sorry, I'm going too fast? Here. First word, hachana, preparation. Klal at all. Right? Suddenly this person is sitting in some bar or something in Amsterdam, and he's totally nothing. It's just like everybody else, and he's just sitting there, and suddenly he thinks to himself, wow, I'm a Jew. Somebody mentions the name, this is the maximum I can. Maximus, Max. My grandfather's name was Max. I remember my grandfather. He starts crying. What are you crying for? Hey, what are you crying for? Stanislaus says, my name is Shlomo. What? What type of weird name is that? Hey, I know that name. That's a Jewish name. You're Jewish? No, I don't know. No, call me Stanislaus. All of a sudden, there falls this thought into his mind, I'm a Jew. What happened? Ukamo, and like Sha'ana Ro'im, we see Bamuchash clearly. Delif Amim, that sometimes. But aid at the time. Sha'adam, that a person runs. Tarud, busy. Busy. Mutrad, and not that confused. What's a bit? Mutrad means another word for busy. Occupied. It's more than just occupied, though. When you're mutrad, means that you're. There's a good English word for this. When you're like really, like let's say you have a problem and bothered. Mutrad, and bothered. Be'esakav, in his business. Upitom, and suddenly, Omed, he stops. Mimurutzato, from his, how do you say, his what is it? Huh? His running, it's a better word for running. It's like, he stops his, what's it called? When something is moving, it has a propulsion. It moves.
Momentum.
Momentum. It stops his momentum. Stops his running. Vishoel, and asks et atzmo, himself, quote, Ma ani ratz, what am I running for? Va'ad ana, and how long? Ad ana means how long. Ehyeh, an abbreviation here, will I be? Masur, devoted. V'natun, and surrendered. There's another word for devoted. Asakai, to my business. Kishur la'ol, like an ox to the yoke. Uchamor, and a mule, an ass, a donkey, whatever. I guess a chamor is a donkey. Lamasa, to his burden. Me'az, from haboker, the morning, ad, until sha'a, hour, mu'cheret, late, balayla, at night. End quote. The person thinks to himself, what am I doing? Do I own the business, or does the business earn me? Right? And the money belongs to me, or I belong to the money? What's happening over here? All of his happiness, the Rebbe once said in the Sikha, all of his happiness is zeros. Zeros, that's his whole happiness. His whole life is just centered around a big zero. He looks in his bank account, and he sees, wakes up in the morning, looks at his bank account and says, whoa, hey, calls his wife, hey, look at this Torah. Look at this. Hey, there's 6 zeros here. Yesterday there was 5. 6 zeros. Think they made a mistake? Maybe somebody put $900,000 into my bank account. Right? This is great. 6 zeros. Hey, this is me. Or he wakes up, hey, what the heck? What's going on here? Yesterday there was 6 zeros. Now there's 5. What happened? Hey, look at the whole life is just zeros. That's his happiness, that's his joy, that's his misery, that's his heartbreak, right? That's his accomplishments. The whole life is how many zeros he's got. He's not a millionaire, he's a billionaire. He's a 10 billionaire. Is this the thing that makes a person happy? Sure. But that's not you. That's not who you are. Right? And if you lose your money, so you're nobody. Right? The people there used to be in the stock market crash, people killed themselves. There was this now also made up this guy. Right? People killed themselves. They lost all their money. They realized, hey, I have nothing. I thought I was something. His whole being was his house, was his bank account, was his stature, was his status, was in the country club. It was all he had. These important things. All of a sudden, he lost it all. But he didn't lose it all. It's not so. He lost his money. It's a terrible loss, no doubt about it. But he didn't lose his soul. He didn't lose his self. Right? He didn't lose meaning. He didn't lose his life. He took his own life. He took his own soul. He took his own meaning. Right? Suddenly a person starts thinking, hey, what am I doing? This is really me. This is my whole thing. Is this because I have more money than him? I'm better than him. If I have less money than him, I'm worse than him. Right? That's the whole essence of life. The Rebbe once spoke. There was a fellow in America called Howard Hughes. Howard Hughes, very famous personality, very erratic personality, a big genius. He was a genius in business and in motors, and he was in. He had, I think. What? Aircraft. He had, I think, what was it, TWA and Lockheed or something. I don't remember what it was. And also in movies. He aircraft, but he also had movies. He also had. He was in those days. He was like he had like $2 billion, $12 billion, something like that. That was like today. Bill Gates. I tremendous amount. And he was a miserable maniac his whole life. He was tremendously paranoid and just to an insanity. You know, he died in his room, thought everybody wanted to kill him, and he couldn't go up. And the Rebbe said, he spoke about it. Well, he spoke, very interesting. He died in like 1955 or something, who knows what. So the Rebbe spoke about it. I wasn't religious in those days, but I heard. He said the reason was because he never gave anything to anybody. He always kept everything for himself. So he became bigger and bigger and bigger. How big can a person? If a person gives a little bit to somebody else, so he's richer than this guy Howard Hughes is sitting in his room, and he's got just himself. He's got big self. But you give something to somebody else, you got the whole world. The whole world is right. You're open to everybody. All of a sudden, the more personalities, the more you can interact with you. They'll tell you maybe you're wrong. You can learn. You can make mistakes. You can help other people. You can smile at somebody. Somebody smiles back and make somebody feel good. At least do something, right? You're not a. The reason is he said it's the same thing. A person starts to think, I got money. I made money on the top, on the top of the world, the best. All of a sudden, he realizes this is me. This wasn't me, right? To make money is wonderful, but that's not me, right? The money is mine. I'm not. The money is not me. Right? So he said, the Rebbe says, when a person, all of a sudden a person feels it. Why does he feel this? Why does he feel this feeling? He said, because the Osa, first word in line is Osa. The Osa, and he makes Heskem, a decision, Vehechlet, and a resolution. Benafsho, in his soul. A person all of a sudden comes to a realization, oh, what am I doing? This is not. He makes a resolution and a decision, benafsho, in his soul. I share that. Me'atah, from now on, Yitpalel, he will pray, Betzibor, in a congregation. Ve'yigva, and he will set. Now here the Rebbe is not talking about non-religious people. The Rebbe, who reads these Maimorim, right? Who reads these Maimorim? A non-religious person goes to the, says, give me a Maamar of the Rebbe. This is, the only religious people read this stuff. Right? Who reads this? Religious people read. It says, the person is a religious person, and he puts on tefillin, and he keeps Shabbos, and he does everything, but money is the most important thing. Money is the most important thing. He says, from now on, forget it. Money is going to be important. Yes, but it's not going to be the most important. The most important is going to be serving God. From now on, I'm going to pray in a congregation. Eating the Torah, I'm going to set times for learning Torah. Calls that all this comes mishorish, from the root, the etzem, and the essence, haneshama, of the soul, that it sees, vishomas, and hears, hakruzim, the announcements, ha'elyonim, the upper announcements, mishpas, and it is affected, or it is affected, biharat, in this little ray, haneshama, of the soul, shebaguf, which is in the body. There's this little tiny awareness which is in the body of who I am. All of a sudden starts to think, hey, maybe this is not me, maybe I'm wrong, maybe there's more to my soul than I think. Vashpas, and this effect, shorish, of the root, the etzem, and the essence, haneshama, this effect that the essence of the soul has, biha'arat haneshama, in the ray of the neshama, and as a little part of the soul that's in the body, it is gam, also b'risha'im, even in evil people. Now, evil people, the Sefer the Tanya has a whole different definition of what an evil person is. An evil person. An evil person doesn't have to be somebody who has a big scar on his face and goes around killing people. An evil person could just be a person that does not want to do Torah mitzvahs, or even not purposely. It just doesn't. It could be, according to the Tanya, that a person can be a Rasha and he can still go to heaven. He can still go to heaven. A Rasha is a person that willfully thinks bad thoughts. He willfully. That's a certain type of a Rasha, a certain type of an evil person. He willfully thinks bad thoughts. What's wrong with that? It's not. But it's not serving God. In that time, you're not serving God. That's called a Rasha. It's good. It could be that you go to heaven, you get all the rewards and everything. Don't worry. But still, the fact is you purposely did not serve God. That's what we're learning about now in the Yigeras Tshuva. We purposely didn't serve God. So he said that's called the Rasha. But then there's people who are more Rashas, Rasha'im, that they don't do anything, or they go against God, or they purposely do sins, or they enjoy doing the sins. It's not so bad. They enjoy doing it, and they can't stop themselves. Says, even these people, like our hero that we had in the beginning, that was sitting in this bar in Amsterdam or somewhere, just totally not religious. There's also the earrings and tattoos, God forbid, and hairdo, a mohawk that's colored pink or whatever it is, and he's got, just totally far from anything that's anything to do with Judaism or godliness or humanness or anything. He's trying to be as much as an animal as possible. All of a sudden, he hears on the television is playing, today is the Jewish Day of Atonement. Today, hundreds of thousands of Jews all over the world, and everybody else in the place is drinking. Aha, they're all laughing. Atonement, atonement. And he sits there and his tears drowning from his eyes. What's wrong? He's wrecking up his makeup, whatever he's got. What's wrong with you, right? I'm a Jew. Oh, starts crying. What happened? What happened? Just because he heard on our television set, it's a big deal. Jews, what Jews are doing, he doesn't care. Could care any less. Suddenly he realizes, right? That's what it means. A little something fell from heaven. Something fell from heaven and it woke him up. Who really am I? What it really is reality? Is this reality? This is all there is to the world? Or maybe there's a whole new reality, right? A lot of times, God forbid, what happens is people can get aroused like this, but they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do with it. So they go to the Moonies, they go to the what is it called, the Krishnas, they go to this, they all sorts of crazy things, because they feel, I'm a Jew, but they don't know how to explain what it is. They don't know how to put it into any sort of framework. They don't know what to do. They just want something spiritual, right? Sometimes people feel guilt. They feel guilty. What have I done with my life? I did wrong things. I did bad things. How do they know what's guilty? How do they know what's wrong? What's right or they're wrong? Because like we said a lot of times before, it's ingrained in the essence of the soul that there is such a thing as right and wrong. There is such a thing. To kill people is wrong. To do other things is wrong. And sometimes it gets a little confused, right? What exactly right and wrong is. Right? It could be that maybe a person says, I was wrong, I didn't turn my parents into the communist government. You can get confused, but nevertheless it feels, in the essence of the soul, there is such a thing as right and wrong. A person is sitting in this